Okay, so when we open up Marvelous Designer, it'll give you this notification and just say skip. Don't download, just hit skip. We don't want to break it. And when you open it, you'll be greeted with a couple things. I'm just going to wait for it to load up. Oh, well, I guess while it's loading, I can talk about some stuff. If you already seen my Marvelous Designer tutorials from previous tutorials, it's exactly the same thing. There's nothing fancy. You could actually skip this lesson if you want. But if you are brand new, welcome, by the way, and you want to learn how to use Marvelous Designer for this body, stick around and watch it. You can use it and apply this method to other bodies as well. But if you already watched this on the previous one, just go ahead and skip this and see the rigging and stuff. Then I'll meet you there. Okay, so those people who watched it before are gone. So it's just me and you, buddy. Welcome to Marvelous Designer. When you open it, you'll be greeted with a screen that kind of looks like this. They'll give you a default avatar in a 3D window and ask you to choose a bunch of avatars. We're just going to close this because we aren't going to use that. We're going to import our own model into Marvelous. So what we want to do is go over to the very left-hand corner where it says File, and we're going to select New, and just get out those default clothes. Unless you like it, then you could keep it there. But I'm going to be teaching you how to make clothes, so you don't really need their clothes. So our next step is to get rid of this model that's here. We don't need her. So we're going to go back up to File, and we're going to choose Open this time. And then scroll down till you see Avatar. And then we're going to navigate to our project folder that we created in the last video. And you're going to select the OBJ that we exported. A menu is going to pop up, and you just got to press this little M box right here. And then hit OK. And then there you have your Marvelous, your Ebody imported in. So it's worth noting that sometimes when you just have a brand new Marvelous Designer, it may look like this. For some reason, Marvelous Designer always disables the 2D pattern tools, and they make you enable it. I guess it's like a test to see if you know what you're doing. And all we have to do is enable it. So if you only have these buttons at the top, I want you to take your mouse cursor and place it onto this gray area, then right-click, and then press the button that says 2D pattern toolbar and enable it, because now you're able to create patterns with it. Don't know why they disable it, they just do. So now that we have the buttons enabled, let's start talking about what those buttons do. Well, before we do that, I gotta explain what these windows are that you're seeing. This is the window on your left is your 3D window. This is what we are going to work with when it comes to arranging and sewing our patterns together. You'll see when we create those. And this is our 2D window. This is going to be where we draw our patterns to arrange in the 3D window. This also serves as your UV image editor, so your UV map for your garment. So however your pattern is made in this window, that's what it's going to look like when you unwrap it. Well, you don't have to unwrap it because it'll be unwrapped already. So yeah, no worrying about marking seams and unwrapping in Blender. As you create your pattern, that pattern will be your UV map. So we're going to talk about that when we actually get down to like the ending of it. Anywho, so let's talk about what these buttons at the very top do. So please turn your attention to the top toolbar, please. Alright, so at the top, we're going to be going 2D tools and all the rest of the junk. So we're going to start here with this button. This is the Create Polygon tool. This is the tool that allows you to create any kind of shape for your pattern in here, as long as you don't make them too close and you always return back to the first dot. I'm going to turn on the sync button, and that'll show you what the pattern looks like over here. Let's get rid of this. Next to that is the Create Rectangle, which allows you to create rectangles instead of trying to do it with the Create Polygon tool, which is one of the impossible tasks. So that lets you create rectangles. And next to that is the Create Circle, so you can create beautiful circle patterns without having to do that again with the rectangle bar, with the Create Polygon, which is again humanly impossible. So those are your three that you're going to be using the most. Next to your create a pattern tools, you'll notice that you'll see a create polygon tool, but they're in red. These red markings are internal tools. These allow you to create internal patterns inside of your regular pattern. These are regular patterns, and the internal ones work inside the pattern. One of the other differences between the internal pattern making tools and the external pattern tools is that the internal ones can be used without going back to the first dot. So you can make any kind of pattern you want and just double click and you'll see it will create. Whereas if you try to do that with the external pattern tool, it won't complete. You have to return back to the first dot. See. Now I bet you're wondering, why do I need to make internal patterns? Well, my dear grasshopper, these internal tools will allow you to create different effects onto your pattern. Let's say, for example, you wanted to make a pleated skirt, or you wanted to fold your pattern, folds into your skirt. You would take the internal line and create a line. Also, holding down shift while you're making your line gives you kind of a snap grid to use. So if you're like me and blind and you have a hard time keeping things straight, hold down shift and Marvelous Designer will help you. Okay, so I'm going to use this cloth over here as an example. Now let's say we wanted pleats in our fabric. We would create lines in our pattern and then select the lines. Actually, there's a better way to do that. Let me see. Mesh. Where's the selection? Dingle, I forgot. I forgot. Sorry about that. But, okay, so we're going to use the black arrow, hold down shift. Oh, the white arrow. Hold down shift and select the lines. And then we will press play so we can see the simulation go. Then we would go to shape and then fold strength. I like to turn my fold strength up pretty high, so I'm going to turn it on 9. And then we just turn the fold angle and you will see we will get folds in there with the internal tools, depending on which direction you put it in. So it can be very soft ones, very noticeable ones, or reversed and stuff like that. You can also use them as elastic. So if you wanted to make sheared things or something like that, elastic, you can do that with internal tools. And you don't have to make them straight. It can be any kind of line or any kind of design inside of there. Another thing that these can be used for is more points to sew your stuff to. Let's say if you had a skirt, for example, and you wanted to sew a ruffle onto your skirt. You would create an internal line and then attach it to there and then press play. Of course, this is going to collide and be messed up, but that's because I didn't do something important by switching the layer up. But you see what I mean. You can use internal tools to attach stuff to your fabric, your pattern, add layers, put folds in, all that fun stuff. So make sure when you have free time, you play around with it and see what you can create. See? Now it's attached to it. Sorry, my computer gets laggy when I try to do high particle distance stuff with the screencast on. It's just messy. So that's an example of the internal tools. Oh, wait, I kind of forgot the one next to it. The one right here is the dart. So it allows you to sew darts onto there, and it acts just like what darts would do. However, I have no idea what darts do, and people keep telling me, Zero, this is what darts do. And I'm like, oh, and then I forget. So I'm sure if you are a tailor and you know what darts do, it does the same thing. So that's something to keep in mind. If you need to use darts, just use the diamond. Alright, so those are your pattern making tools. But out of all of them, you're mostly going to be using the polygon in this one. Actually, you're going to use all three of those, so forget what I just said. So that's how you create a pattern. Next to it is our pattern manipulation tools. And I'm going to create a little square to show you how to manipulate the pattern. This is our edit pattern. It allows you to select dots and edit your pattern. It's pretty self-explanatory there. The black one allows you to select the pattern as a whole and edit it all as a whole like this, if you wanted to. Now you can use the edit pattern tool to do like shrinking and stuff like that. But if you have to do, like, let's say multiple things at once, you may want to use the black one. So, like, if we wanted to do this or rotate all of those at once, we can do that with the black arrow. Next to the black arrow, we have to add a curve, which, again, self-explanatory. Adds curves to your pattern. I actually think Marvel's with the crash. Oh, it didn't crash. So you can add curves to it. Next to that one is the edit your curve pattern, which allows you to edit your curve some more to make more sophisticated curves. That there is called the French wave. I'm kidding. It's not really called that, but it'd be funny if it was, right? And next to, you're going to definitely need that one, like the edit curve when you start making circle skirts, but that's a whole nother tutorial. And next to that one is our edit point. This allows you to edit your pattern even more. Give it more points to grab on to edit your pattern any way you want. In case you forgot something or you want to manipulate it a little bit more and make something tighter and you need more grab points, just add more points and then use it. It kind of reminds me of that old, I forgot what that thing is called, but it reminds me of that. Okay, so we're going to delete this and get this out of the way. And talk about actually making a garment. So, wait, I forgot something else. One of the more important ones. In Marvelous Designer, as you create stuff in a 2D window, it will show up in a 3D window, but only if you have the sync button pressed. This button right here. If you don't have the sync button on and you create patterns inside the 2D window, it won't show up in your 3D window. Also, you'll notice that your pattern is red, and that tells you that they're not active. So if you are creating up a storm and you notice it's not showing up in your 3D window, just check your sync button right here and make sure that it's on and you see that it works. Now, even if they're syncing like this, they're not really doing anything in the 3D space. They're kind of just 2D and not active. This is because we didn't turn on our simulation button, and the simulation pretty much tells Marvelous Designer to go and simulate all of these cloths, and that's just represented by this play button right here. So all you have to do is press this play button and Marvelous Designer will start turning those 2D patterns into cloth and breaking my computer in the process. So you see how that works. Remember to press play to simulate your garments. Now, another thing we need to really talk about is particle distance. And I reckon that'll be something to talk about in the next one when we're making clothes, because it's getting close to that 15-minute mark. But just real quick, as you select your pattern, you'll notice down here in the basic tab that there's pattern distance. And pattern distance is basically how dense or how many triangles you want in your, how high, or that's the best way to say it, is how high or low poly you want your garment to be. For example, let me see. All right. So let's say we have this right here, and this is a dress. I'm going to pin it real quick. Wait. So right now, the cloth is being simulated at a 20 particle distance, which is the basic Marvelous Designer setting for a computer like mine. And we're going to add in some folds. Come on. And I'm going to just select these three. Actually, I'm going to move this over. Alright, so we have the folds. And I'm going to turn the fold strength up, turn it on 9 like we did before, so you can see how it looks right now. So this is at 20. Now, the weird thing about Marvelous Designer is the higher the particle distance it is, the lower poly your model would be. So it's at 20. Let's double that and put it at 40. And you see it dropped a lot of its resolution. Now, if we were to do something insane, like put it on 10, you'll see we get like all of this. But because it's at 10, your computer, it takes up more processing power and it increases the try count when you're doing it. So make sure you watch your particle distance when you're working on things. Just because high is beautiful doesn't always mean that it's good. You may not always need to have it so high. Or if you do need to have it high for a better simulation, you can always decimate it in Blender. But that's, again, is some other tutorial. So that is, in a nutshell, how to use Marvelous Designer. I'm going to end it right here because people complain when I make really long videos, and 15 minutes seems pretty reasonable for YouTube. So what I'm going to do is take a break here, and then when we come back, I'm going to show you how to make a t-shirt and a pair of pants, and then how to export it, and then we go on to rigging it, and then texturing it, and then making your final words, I guess. Alright, so I'm going to scoot, and I'll see you guys in the next video.